The 2023 HQ Racing New South Wales Championship is proudly brought to you by Osborn's Transport. Heading into the opening round of the 2023 season, we caught up with the defending champion Chris Moll, who took home the title in 2022.
Hopefully go back-to-back's the aim, I suppose. It's been good. We've been chasing the championship for quite a long time now, so it's good to finally get the number one on the car. I might be a bit biased, but it looks pretty good with the number one on the side of it. It's good, mate. That's pretty much the plan, I suppose, is to go out and do our best and ultimately have a bit of fun. Been a lot of pressure for a long time, so this year we'll have a bit of fun and see if we can go again.
In the off-season, have you had a chance to freshen up the car, give it a bit of a birthday, or...?
Yeah, mechanically, yeah. Thankfully, towards the end of the season, we didn't get too much damage. We had a bit throughout the year, which hurt us a little bit. But, towards the end of the season, just making sure everything's right, basically. I sort of aim for reliability first and then, horsepower second. So, focused on reliability and just make sure everything's right, all the little things.
How's the car feeling at Winton? Obviously, this is a track you don't race much, being a New South Wales category. Is it feeling fast? Is it, handling well around here? Do you have to do much?
Not really sure. I haven't been here for a long time, so I know a few of the other boys from New South Wales come down for the 4-hour every year. So if I can sort of match with them or at least be close to. We've got some Vic boys here that have got the home ground advantage this weekend. So again, if I can mix it with them, then I'm sort of where I'd be hoping to be. So I'm not too far off the pace in practice, which I was pretty happy with because it was 2016 my last time here. I'm pretty happy with the practice. We'll go out and go a little bit harder and find a bit more speed in quali, hopefully.
Well, is there anyone you'd like to thank for the weekend and I guess for the season?
Yeah, definitely my sponsors, Command Digital Signage and Hoyt's Cinemas, Navori Labs. Without those guys, we wouldn't be here, mate. We wouldn't have the cars that we've got. They wouldn't be as quick, and we really appreciate their support.
Well, thanks for speaking to us, and hopefully have a great weekend.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Pole sitter for the round for the first time down at Winton Motor Raceway with the New South Wales HQ Holdens was Brett Osborn. We caught up with him in the pits.
Yeah, car was good out there then. We had some dramas yesterday, which got on top of those overnight, and yeah, car was good in qualifying, thankfully, and like you said, we were able to put it on pole with a pretty strong lap. So yeah, very happy with how that went.
So the setup with this car on this track, do you think you've got it nailed for coming around here this weekend?
Oh, you can always make improvements, but where it is now is pretty strong. Seems to do most things right, or as right as it can. Always room for improvement, but yeah, definitely happy with it at the moment.
So in the off-season, has there been much you've been able to do with the car? Obviously with the 4-hour beforehand, a lot of setup changes or anything?
No, we had a pretty quiet off-season really. As you mentioned, the 4-hour, that was in December, so we came down here, had a good run there as well. But yeah, we haven't really made too many changes. This car just happened to roll out of the truck good this weekend as well, so yeah, very grateful.
Good luck on the weekend. Hopefully everything goes well. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thanks for that. I'd like to thank Osborn's Transport, Boys from the Bush, CR International, MIA Engines, SC Racing. Just thanks for all your support and keeping us going.
Great to hear from our championship defending driver Chris Moll and our pole sitter Brett Osborn as we go into the first race for the opening round of the Osborn's Transport HQ Holden Championship. The 12-turn Winton Motor Raceway is our venue for this opening race of the season. Gary O'Brien, we should see some great racing here.
We should do. This is a favourite for HQ Holdens, 3 kilometres. Certainly it is an action-packed event, and on the front row, Osborn Transport's 2 team cars of Brett Osborn and John Baxter, and they go side by side. Chris Moll right in behind them, trying to go with them at this stage.
Ryan Woods there as well in 4th place, and then back to another Osborn's Transport car in Baxter. And then we've got Proglio, who of course has been in amongst the title challenge for the last couple of seasons. Not Glenn Deering here this weekend, who we saw combative with Proglio for the championship a couple of seasons ago. He's going to rejoin the series at round 2, I believe, and we'll be back out there in earnest as we see Jason Johnston on board with him. He's chasing down another one of our Victorians who's joined for this weekend in Andrew Lawton. And we'll be trying to work his way past that car as Ryan Woods slips back through the field on the opening lap. So obviously some sort of drama for him down through the back section of the circuit.
Yeah, probably just a miscue somewhere. HQs are really familiar with this track. They come down here as a 2-driver team for the Kenley 4-hour in December, January each year. So a lot of the New South Wales guys go down. You've got to give them credit for coming down again this time of the year for the opening round of the championship.
Yeah, of course. They're after that Kenley 4-hour trophy. It's a prestigious one in the HQ racing fraternity, a great event at the end of the season. So if you want to see HQs with endurance racing and driver swap pit stops, that's one to get to. So we go on board with Jason Molan. He's looking to the outside of Ryan Woods, where Haber is sitting there as well at the moment. So Ryan Woods, I would say he has got some sort of engine drama with that car and he's probably just down on power a little bit, because it looks like everyone's just being able to swamp him at the moment as they go down the main straight.
Yeah, Jason Mole, of course, was very competitive a couple of seasons ago, but has dropped off a little bit in the last 6 months or so, the meetings that we've seen him run in.
Had a couple of tough rounds with mechanical failures and things like that as well, hasn't he? So it's not good when things like that start happening, as we see Launton now still under pressure from Johnston down the back straight. I think Jason Johnston looked like he had a little bit of smoke coming from the diff as well, so there might be a little bit of a drama with that car. We'll have to see how it plays out as Baxter now comes under pressure from Proglio. Sorry, Barker. Hard to read the Baxter Barker name on the side of an Osborn
Indeed
car.
it is. And you might remember, was it 2 seasons ago that Barker won the first round? He cleaned up, no one could get near him, and just couldn't repeat that form from that day onwards, really.
There's Proglio, there's the MHA Euro car. Of course, we're used to seeing Proglio up towards the front of the field. These guys will all be trying to close that gap down to our 3 front runners, and if they can put a little bit of pressure on, should be able to mix up amongst it, as we've seen in multiple seasons of the Osborn's Transport New South Wales HQ Holden Championship. If the leaders cannot battle each other for the first half of the race, you'll open up a gap on those cars that are battling each other, which you can then maintain to the finish. So it's important to just sort of focus on your lines and make sure you're going all right. As we go on board there with Kane Robinson, you could just see Jason Johnston with that little bit of smoke from the rear of the car. Dave Allen very wide at turn 2.
Yeah, Dave Allen's another one that's down the order a little bit from where we normally would see him. So and here we're on with Ryan Wood as he goes down the inside of Harbour, down from turn 3 to 4, and just a little rub as they go through. When they're side by side, there's not a lot of room, and it looks like he's going to get ahead. Jason Mould trying to get in on the act as well, but he's really on the wrong side of the circuit to get it done there, and they'll have to settle in behind, maybe try and make a move down at turn 6.
Great aware driving from a lot of them there. They didn't really swap paint, didn't cause any unnecessary contact, and good tight racing from a lot of them. Now Jason Mould will try to look to see if he can make the move maybe at this second hairpin. He's got, look at the amount of opposite lock he's had to feed into it there through the middle hairpin. So that's actually enabled Darren Parker to close in behind him. You can just see him flash through the back of shot in that aqua blue, I guess you'd call it, car.
Yeah, it's interesting that Jason Mould had no problems going through the right-hander. The left-hander was all over the shop, so maybe he might have a suspension geometry issue of some description. But now he's got his hands full, A, trying to get past these guys in front of him, B, keep Parker behind him as well.
There's definitely battles everywhere through this field at the moment of the Osborn's Transport HQ Holden Championship, as we see Harbour with a lock-up and Ryan Woods skating it through turn 1 and 2. So they're all pushing pretty hard, trying to push each other along as well. Everybody feeling the pressure of if they're going to lose a position, or potentially as well the opportunity to gain a position as they come down through the middle section of this race.
He looked pretty good in that right-hander then. He was under control. Maybe he just came in too hot on that previous laps, and that's why he got a little bit out of shape. But at the moment, he's still got his work cut out to try and get past these guys, and now coming down the left-hander will be an indication of whether he has got an issue or not, as he points it in, and he has. So there's definitely an issue on the left-hand corners.
Something's going on with that car, but Ryan Woods being able to hold off Harbour here. They're not really making inroads onto Dave Allen in front, as one man making an inroad is Robinson down the inside there of Jason Johnston, and he'll take the position away. So a good little battle from a lot of these cars, as well as Launton just there up in front of him, and you can see as they come down into turn 1, Parker is coming in behind them as well.
Yeah, so there are a few Victorians taking into this round of the New South Wales State Championship. I dare say that they're, just we see a move going on there, I dare say that they probably won't do all our championship, but good to gauge yourself against interstaters because the Nationals will come up this year. There's a big challenge going on at the Northern Territory in late April or May, I believe. So there's all that to gauge where you are, and we've seen at the Bathurst meeting that they've lined up against each other, and they came from everywhere for that.
How great was that move then from Ashton Parker as well? He's managed to get past Jason Johnston down into the first hairpin, hold it around the outside and take the position away. Now he'll try to close in on these two cars in front. We just saw Robinson make the move on Launton as well. So Parker now finding some pace in the late stage of this race. Of course, as he gets more and more used to the car, we should expect to see the young bloke up towards the front as Jason Mole into the pit lane. So obviously a drama with that car.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame. Coming up the last lap, and it's a team 1-2 for Osborn Transports at this stage. Brett Osborn in front of John Baxter, and just about every time they race, it's normally those two if they're not 1-2, they're not far off it.
No, they sometimes swap it around and bring it home the other way.
Yeah, I don't think that's by design. That just happens.
No, they race hard out on track, as Baxter, though, has got to stay where he is for the moment because he's held off Chris Mole for third place as well. As we take a look at the result board, Brett Osborn, John Baxter, Chris Mole, Dave Proglio, Matty Barker and Kenneth Wright rounding out your top six, and Dave Allen bringing it home
with a puncher
on the last lap, so hopefully he'll be able to get home to a good result as well. Following the race, down in the pits, we caught up with Darren Parker to have a chat about the 2023 HQ Racing New South Wales season and some new faces to the category.
Yeah, 2023 season's looking really, really good for us. We've got 4 new faces: Ashton Parker, Brendan Healy, Peter Simonson and Brett Simpson, all new to the category. Apart from Brett, the other 3 sort of raced a race or 2 last year, but this is their first full season. So it's fantastic for the category to have 4 new faces, and there will be a 5th. To come and join us is just awesome. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And we're in Winton. It's an away round for us, and we've got 21 cars, 17 from New South Wales and 4 from Victoria. So it's a fantastic turnout.
Obviously, Winton's a track you guys don't come to very much. What's the overwhelming sort of, I guess, vibe from all of the drivers about coming here?
Look, everyone's really excited. Like, it's a very technical track. Winton's a very technical track, so it's a bit unusual for us. I mean, sorry, we've got technical tracks, but it's trying to get your head around all the corners is just really, really surprising. So, but everyone loves it. Everyone really, really enjoys the track, and a lot of our guys have been down here for the 4-hour race in the end of the year. So yeah, so some of the guys are really, really quick, and others are really getting their head around it. So yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend.
Second race lined up on the grid. We've got the same 1-2 on the front row of the grid. Chris Mole in behind him, trying to go back to back in the championship. He's got a third to his name already. Looks like Matty Barker's made up a spot off the start, so we might have Team Osborn cars 1, 2 and 4. Proglio in behind him at this stage, and then I think it's Andrew McLeod just losing out to Ryan Wood as they head up over the rise towards turn 3.
Ryan Wood made a great start there, down the inside, around the outside, picked up a few positions as we go on board with Jason Mole for the run down the hill. Somebody just dropping their wheel off there. I think that might have been Healy in front of him as Ashton Parker is sitting there in position as well. And just look at this field of cars. Absolutely fantastic to see how many cars they've got down to Winton this weekend for the opening round of the Osborn's Transport HQ Holden Championship. And great to see such great racing from a lot of them as well. We're on board with Dave Allen. And finished a little bit further down the field than he would have liked in race 1, and now finds himself behind Darren Parker, and he's going to have to try to work hard to get that position back.
Is a flamingo there to help move him up the field? Bit of driver coaching perhaps?
Yeah, might yell something out during the race as they continue around to finish the first lap, and we're on board with the number 80 of Mark Baxter. He's coming over the top of the hill through turn 3, and he's got all of this group in front of him. That's Parker, Harbour and Ryan Woods there as well, I think, as they go down into the sweeper. And it looks like Harbour's going to look to the inside here as Parker's run a little bit wide. He's dropped a wheel. Oh, he's held it on. Great effort there from Parker as he keeps to the inside. So
is he still there?
Yeah,
he's still
right
there as well.
Now, so Baxter almost picked up a position there and then was not quite able to. So good racing.
Here we go back further in the field, further forward in the field. Jason Harbour there. He's one that's sort of come along in leaps and bounds in the last 12 months in the category. Was generally right at the back, but now he's knocking on the door of top 6, top 7.
Yep. It's good to see people progressing as they spend more time in the category, get used to the car, start to get some speed. Of course, everybody willing to give each other a few tips for speed. Nobody wants to give each other too much information because it's such a close category. But, it looks like the drama has returned for Jason Mole. I dare say there some sort of motor issue with that car, and he's waving his hands in the air like his sense that the drama is there. So we'll have to see how that continues on for this race.
No, he's still going.
He's still going at the moment, so maybe it's not that big a thing. He might have just heard a flutter as he came down the main straight.
He might have got a nudge from behind.
As now we see Chris Mole on the back of Baxter for second place in the race. Brett Osborn's been able to just inch himself away from these guys in front. You can just see from Baxter's onboard, he's been able to pull out that gap. He's probably got a fair few car lengths. I'll try to put a number on it now as he comes through turn 1 and 2, but that's going to make him be able to focus on his
2.5 seconds or something like that.
As we see here, Allen to the inside of Baxter, and he gets the position. Yes, he does, down the inside, and now Mole's going to try to go around the outside at turn 2, diminishing rewards out there. He's going to switch back to the inside down towards 3, but I don't think he'll get it quite done.
And he'll have another look here, and now he's actually got it done. So
got there. Good move. Authoritative move down into the first hairpin. So Baxter unfortunately misses out and loses 2 positions in about half a lap, which is the way it can go in the HQ Holdens. Of course, you start getting offline a little bit just because of the way you moved over when you're getting overtaken, and you will find yourself losing position as Harbour now puts pressure on Ryan Woods, and in front of them Andrew McLeod. And we'll have to see if Harbour can be able to work his way through these Victorian cars that are now in front of him.
Yeah, very nice little feather in his cap, knock off 2 front-runner Victorians.
Yeah.
They just haven't seemed to have the pace of the front-running New South Welshmen this weekend, have they?
I think a round like this is Jason Mole to the inside of Allen down into 1. Very hard braking. A bit of opposite lock in the mid-corner as well. He's been able to make it work and see if he can get the run over the hill. Allen right with him. He's not been able to get there as yet as we go to the last lap for the Osborn's Transport. Second race here for the HQ Holdens. As he comes across the line, Brett Osborn takes home victory from John Baxter, Chris Mole, Dave Proglio, Matty Barker rounding out your top 5.
Last race for the first round of the Osborn Transport's HQ New South Wales Championship. And again, we've got a similar start to what we had last time. Actually, it's almost identical, apart from McLeod down the outside, who's picked up a spot off the start. And he'll go ahead of Dave Proglio as they go through turn 1, head around to turn 2. He's actually going to get ahead of Barker as well. Well, he was, until he had that little bit of a slip and slide out of turn 2.
As we come over the hill and we're on board with Allen, it looks like somebody's run wide. That's Proglio, well out into the dirt. So Proglio is going to lose a bunch of positions as we go on board with Healy. You can see he's done well there not to just rejoin straight across the track, but unfortunate for Proglio. I don't think in this year's championship you can really afford to have a bad race outside the top 10 if you want to be able to get a good result. So Proglio now with a lot of work to do to get himself back up there to be able to pinch some of those all-important championship points.
We're on board with Dave Allen again as he chases the field down into turn 10. Back of the leaders, and I guess Chris Mole will be getting sick of the sight of these 2 blue cars in front of him. They've been there all weekend, and at this stage he still can't do anything about it.
He'll be looking forward to getting to the wide open spaces of Sydney Motorsport Park with that long main straight where you can get a draft down into turn 2. But for the moment, we've got to get through this final race here at Winton Motor Raceway. So we see Allen now to the outside of Jason Mole. We saw these 2 battle through turns 1 and 2 in race 2. And now we go on board with Baxter. Lawton to the outside of him.
No way around there, I don't think.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Mole, I think, will be able to hold on here as well on Allen, because he's got the inside line there. Allen holds tough and should actually be able to pinch it back at the sweeper. We'll see if they go side by side through here. Pretty brave racing if they can make it work. They've given each other some respectful room, but Allen's going to take the position away.
Well, he had the shorter line through that corner. He was going to get ahead, and the Mole car was on the limits of grip. You could see he kept correcting it as he's going through the corner, or else it was going to go spearing off, and the sweeper's renowned for doing that.
As we see the battle here Mole's still on the back of Allen, so he'll see if he can get a run down into turn 1 and 2, you'd have to think. Not able to quite get there. Allen and Mole taking a lot of that ripple strip through turn 1. I haven't noticed anybody else going as that far over it. As now Mole's got to the inside, as we take on board with Baxter behind, and he's got to the inside at 3. Well, it seems a bit of second verse, same as the first at the moment, doesn't it? As they go down through 4, though this time Mole's got it to work through 4, and Allen's going to have to sit in behind him. He'll have a thought about putting the nose there into the sweeper, but decides it's better to sit behind.
No, that would have only ended in tears, so best way is to stick behind and maybe get a run later. At this stage, though, Jason Mole has just a little bit more pace than Allen, and I think that's the reason why he's now in front with a little bit of a gap. Dave Proglio trying to make his way back up through the order from his little misdemeanor early on.
He's coming around a very willing battle. We're on board with Ashton Parker here, and you can see Proglio's got the run, but just in behind him he's got Jason Johnston and Brendan Healy as well. There they are, the 3 cars, and those 3 have been duking it out for half the race so far. Really close racing from the 3 of them, and of course Jason Johnston finding himself with 2 effectively rookies to the category. They've only got a couple of rounds each under their belts, and he's getting some good racing there. Oh no, that's the 77 car of Matty Barker, and it's pulled off at turn 1, so I wonder if he's had some sort of drama. Well, no doubt he's had some sort of drama because he's off the track, but I wonder what sort of drama has caused him to actually pull that car up.
Yeah, around here it's generally head gaskets, gearboxes, or just pure heat, and it could be all 3.
You never know, do you? As we go on board with Darren Parker, putting pressure on the back of Ryan Woods. See if he can make a move down into turn 10. He's going to look to the... No, I thought he was going to have a look to the inside as they came down to the corner, but it's not quite there at the moment. Just sitting in behind Ryan Woods, who of course we've seen so much speed from at places like Sandown, even here at Winton Motor Raceway in the Victorian Championship. And often puts on quite a show as well, as Parker now works on the back of him, closes that gap right up. You can see here on the straight the power of Woods' machine has been able to pull away, though Parker looking for some air, so I dare say the hot weather.
Touch up there into turn 1 with McLeod and Harbour. Harbour gets away with not having a lose.
No, it's a tough one, isn't it, when you get a little touch there in the mid-corner, as we see Lawton now getting looked at the inside from Parker. Parker looking to work his way around the outside again, not able to make it work this time. We saw him do a great move with Jason Johnston in race 2, where he was able to get to the inside at the first hairpin, make it work through the midsection there around the outside, though Launton's slide out of the complex there might give Parker some incentive to look to the inside. He does at the final complex, but not able to quite get there. And this is actually allowing Brendan Healy to buy into it as well, because these guys are all slowing each other down with their battle. You can see the black HQ Extra car in behind. He's having a great round so far, really getting used to the car, and now finds himself in the heat of a battle as well. So his best idea potentially is to sit here, watch what these guys are doing, see where they're fast, see where they're slow, and see if he can make a move as Lawton slides through turn 3.
Yeah, a couple of them got caught up there into that corner, and you can see he runs wide out of turn 4, so that's cost him a spot, and now through turn 5 gets a clear run.
Yeah, Parker's going to look around the outside. He's made that move his own this weekend, and a little bit of contact. Lawton just sort of started to turn in there, expecting Parker, I think, to turn right for the next corner as well, but Parker wasn't quite to the line he wanted to be at yet to turn in, so a little bit of panel rubbing between the pair of them, but good racing and play on. Jason Johnston will try to buy in now and see if he can make up a position.
Yeah, and lurking in the background, young Hurley will try and capitalise on all of them having
No
a
doubt.
drama.
That's what he'll be looking for, is to get onto the main straight now. We'll see who can get a run. We go on board with Healy. It looks like he's got a good run out of the final corner. He's going to look to the inside of Johnston here down into turn 1. We'll have to see what he can do. He's been able to get past him. A little bit of contact there with Lawton, and Lawton's gone round. And unfortunately for Healy, he's going to slide it back onto the track. Jason Johnston took avoiding action to the dirt as well, so not where we expected, I guess, the contact to come from in that group, but it all got a little bit messy.
I don't know if he'd be in trouble for that one or not.
Very, very light contact, though, down into the first corner.
He sort of did turn in on the corner. It didn't leave him a lot of room, but that'll be in the hands of judiciary afterwards, no doubt.
You can see he's upset with himself for the contact as well. It's nothing that any of these drivers really want to see when they're out racing. Unfortunately, sometimes it's just part of the sport, and that's the way it goes. As we see out in front, Osborn leading the way. Baxter's been able to close the gap to him in the back stages of this race, but I don't think he'll be able to make a move, nor do I think he'd really want to throw it down the inside and risk it for both cars here. Of course, 1-2 points. Great result for them for all three races of the opening round of the Osborn's Transport HQ Holden Championship at Winton Motor Raceway.
Form finish for Osborn and Baxter, well clear of Chris Mole in third place, Andy McLeod in fourth, Jared Harbour in fifth, and Kenny Wright. We didn't see a lot of Ken Wright, but he was home in sixth spot.
We'll go down to the pit lane now to have a chat with Brett Osborn about winning the opening round of the championship.
Brett Osborn, first in every race. Great start to the season.
Yeah, thanks for that. So, yeah, as you said, we managed to get pole and then get the 3 race wins. Very hard-fought wins at that. Johnny was sort of all over me all weekend, and Molly was all over him. So, yeah, really hard work, but yeah, happy to come home with those victories.
How did the cars perform in the heat this weekend? Especially being sort of out of the ordinary hot for this time of year.
Yeah, look, none of them like heat, obviously, but it's the same for everyone. So, I'm sure our car sort of changed on the track as everyone else's did. I think, the drivers would have suffered as much as the cars did. So, yeah, one of those challenges we just got to deal with.
Did they feel good on a track like this? Something more windy, or are they more suited for something longer?
No, they're quite fine here. We obviously Wakefield Park, quite similar tracks. There's other tracks around the country as well, tight and twisty. So, no, it was they're good here. Definitely good fun. So just like to thank Osborn's Transport, Boys from the Bush, Sierra International, Leather Doctor, MIA Engines, SC Racing. Without you guys, we don't go racing. So thank you.
Congratulations on the win this weekend, and hopefully we can see you with up the top more.
Excellent. Thanks very much. And we'll see you next round.
Well, that wraps up all the action from the opening round of the Osborn's Transport HQ Racing New South Wales Championship for 2023. The season now heads to Sydney Motorsport Park for the second round. Details of that on the Facebook page and website of HQ Racing New South Wales. Make sure to get on there, and if you would like to get racing with these guys, send them a message. Until next time, bye for now.